Hello. It has been a minute since I've done a video, but here I am. I am Latoya J, and I have been missing in action lately. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but I've been kind of low key. I share periodically here and there, like what I am experiencing right now. But I thought I would come and do like an extensive video and just give some feedback as far as what knowledge I have been gaining thus far. So, some may know, but I'll go back. I have been on this healing and rediscovery journey since the beginning of 2022 last year. And since then, a lot of things has come to the surface as far as like trauma from childhood up into most recent, like relationships, friendships, just things in general where I have been detaching, I have been unlearning, and I have been learning some new aspects and things. So with that journey, of course, comes a lot of triggers, a lot of things that God reveals and shows as far as His will versus things that we picked up on our own. So because of that, I went through this phase, and I did a few videos on it where I talked about rejection, relationships, and rediscovery. Rejection more so as far as like experiences, again, from childhood or previous relationships, work situations, all of that. Relationships, that comes into play with leaving some behind, that comes into having a relationship with myself and extending a relationship with God, just rebuilding all the way around, and then rediscovery, because in the process of going through relationships and really building intimacy with the Heavenly Father, it comes with like learning your true identity. You start shaving off all those things that are not of you, and then you start learning like the true value and your true self. So the journey pretty much started where I went from a period of like being broken and unsure of myself to now like having this whole existence and purpose in God and being transformed into like being made whole, which is where the book came from that I recently released, Made Whole. So when you start establishing a relationship with God, He will cause certain things to happen. Okay, certain things like leaving behind what's familiar, like I said, the unlearning certain things, picking up on new identities, new things, all of that. Okay, now Him being the God that He is, we talked about Him being kind, we talked about Him being loving, but I don't think we talk enough about Him being known as the jealous God. He don't like nothing coming before Him. Okay, and anything that we put before Him, it starts to become an idol. And I think society or people have this idea where an idol is like a physical image where we are bowing down to some statue, or we're on like this makeshift altar, like worshiping some kind of animal or thing or person. But no, anything that we put our minds and our energy to that is more than what we give Him energy and mind wise, that thing is an idol. So like I said, when we become established in Him, He causes certain things to happen, and those certain things will be leaving what's familiar and following Him, getting rid of those things that we put before Him and follow Him and like trust in Him. So for me, that familiar thing was leaving my job. And everybody asked, like, how did you know, like, you were supposed to, like, leave your job? How do you know that he told you that? Well, I'm a dreamer. Okay, so I have very vivid dreams, and those dreams probably started like last September, or maybe like September, October. But it was literally like I would be at work working, and I am walking down a hallway, which seems pretty normal with the work that I was doing, working in a facility. I'm like going down the hallway, and literally walking down this hallway, it transitions into a totally different type of building. And initially, I was like looking around, like, where am I? And no matter how much I tried, I could not seem to backtrack and find my way back to where I was, which was like my normal workplace. So I'm literally walking the halls, going about my business, and I immediately like just step into something unfamiliar. And those dreams went on for a while. It went on for so long to that in the dream, when I start to transition, I would say to myself, like, oh, this looks familiar. Like, I've been here before. Like, oh, like, but I still could never find my way back. I would turn around, I'm like going down hallway after hallway, but I never seemed to go back to where I was. So after so many visions and not being able to find my way back, I took that as God telling me, you have to leave. Now, granted, I had no problems with the idea of leaving my job. That wasn't a problem. What I struggled with was, where am I going now that I am leaving my job? Okay, like, what you want me to do next? You know, so here I am. I'm like applying to different positions, applying to different places. I am checking out different positions. I'm doing all of the things because me, I'm very type A. I'm very structured. I like knowing what's happening, all those things. But nothing seemed to work out for me. I had interviews that I did not qualify for. I received emails that was just like, yeah, we looked at your resume and we can't help you here. It was just so much, and it literally caused like this mental battle in my head, because I'm being told something and I don't want to go against that. But at the same time, I'm scared because I can't seem to find anything else that's new. My alarm is going off. Sorry. I'm being called into the unknown, and I don't like that. Like I said, I didn't have a problem with leaving the job. I just want to know what's next. So literally for months and months, I'm like, God, where am I going? God, where am I going? God, where am I going? You're showing me that I'm leaving. Where am I going? And to be honest, the place that I was transitioning into was a hospital setting. Like, I'm walking the halls of a hospital. It looks like I'm walking the halls of an ER. It looks like I'm walking the halls of like the surgical floor. So I'm like, oh, you want me to work at the hospital? So now here I am on Indeed. I'm looking at everything Prisma got. I'm looking at everything Lexington Medical Center has. Like, all of these things are coming to me and nothing is working out. I freak out. Okay. But I can't remember the exact date, but I know it was the end of March. I put in my 2-week notice. I left my job. I prayed hard over that 2 week notice. I'm sitting in my car and I'm like, God, I am going to do this. I have no plan. I have nothing lined up permanently. And I am trusting that within these 2 weeks, that something is going to happen for me because you told me to do this. So here I am doing it. All right. So I do the 2 week notice and I feel such a relief, y'all. Like it was so much weight off of me based on me turning that in. 2 weeks went by and it ended up being on a Friday. It was Good Friday. And guess what? Ain't nothing happened in them 2 weeks that I gave that notice. I'm still in the same boat that I had been in the beginning. All right. So, lesson learned from, I'm probably going to jump around, but I got to go where my mind is taking me. Lesson learned from before is I don't have as much faith as I thought I did. That's what thinking on it now, I can say that my faith has and is still being challenged in the area of that because I literally procrastinated on leaving the job that he told me to because I'm looking for something else. And there was this quote that I read that I will never forget. It said that procrastination is disobedience in slow motion. And that is not wrong because I prolonged the time. And one thing about God is it's not faith if you have to have the answer before you make the move. Real, true faith is you making the move without knowing the next step. So today, whatever today is, I am being faced with the fact of your faith is not where you said it was. Like, we be all like, oh my goodness, like I have such faith. Yes, I have faith. Yeah, until that certain situation comes and now you looking like, whatever. But yes, that was a challenge that I am now learning, still is in, as far as the building of faith, the staying connected in faith, and just really relying on God. Okay, so going back. So 2 weeks is here. It's my last day. I don't have nothing planned. Okay. But I still feel like so relieved. I am not at a job where I am stressing. I don't have no manager up my behind about little silly stuff. Like it was definitely a sense of freedom with not being there. I did leave with having a PRN job set up, so I'm not like full time. But if a facility is in need, like somebody takes off or they have this caseload that they can't manage with their full-time staff, then they call me to help them out. So that's what I'm doing. And, it's working out pretty well. But another downfall that came into play with this is when that 2 week notice, when the 2 weeks came around and I didn't have anything solidified by then, I became entitled. The Lord will be showing you all kind of stuff about yourself when you sit still long enough. Because here I am. I'm like, God, I gave the 2 week notice. Okay, I did what you told me to. Like this is me for real. Like talking to him. I did what you told me to, and you still ain't giving me no answers. Like, what's up? What we doing? And then it hit me like, girl, just a few months ago, you was afraid to even make the move. Your faith was little to none. And then when you decide to do it, now you like, okay, where you at? Like, who are you to think that answers are just supposed to drop out the sky because you finally did what you were supposed to do? Yeah. So that was a thing. Um, so that is still a thing because as of right now, I am still doing PRN. There's still nothing full time set up. Like I said, I've had interviews here and there, and nothing has really surfaced. Um, I do know that I would like to move out of the physical therapy space. I don't see myself doing physical therapy full time anymore. Not that it is a bad thing, but I just think that when God shifts, like He really, really shifts, and it is going into a whole different direction. Um, but yeah, so this video is really, it's me telling my story, but it's also to give you the idea of questioning how deep is your faith? What is it that you have been asked to do that you're scared to do because of the little faith that you have? This time, these last couple of months have been, I would say, trying but very rewarding at the same time, because there's so many lessons that have came out of this experience. And whatever your thing is, like mine was leaving my job, or whatever your thing is, make sure that you get every single bit of wisdom and knowledge out of it. This here alone, like I said, has taught me how little my faith was, and now I am in the process of like growing my faith. Like I have no choice at this point. Like God got me up against the wall, and it's like, you go get this thing by my way. So it is about really building faith. It's about building trust. It is about building intimacy with Him, because like at this point I don't have anybody else that I can depend on. Like I am like really leaning on God Himself to make something happen, to make a door open, to make resources come through for Him to present, you know, someone to me, highlight someone to me be highlighted to someone else that can like just help and share and catapult me into the new space and dimension that I'm supposed to be in. But all of that is based pretty much on Him. It has also taught, like I said, the dependence. Like I have nothing like without Him, and I'm pretty sure like that is the idea that He wants to help us to learn and to understand, is that you are nothing without me. You can't depend on nobody without me. You can't like I'm the one that sets the stage. I'm the one that gives you everything. So that has been the learning curve. Literally, you know, like I said, there's really no resources. So I sit at home. I have a lot of downtime, and in that downtime comes with a lot of reading. It comes with a lot of praying. It comes with a lot of worshiping. It comes with a lot of conversations. And, you know, people are like, they're wanting to hang out. They're wanting to do this. They're wanting to do that. And it's like, I'm in this sit down season. I am in a sit down season, and I literally like cannot map out next month. I cannot tell you, yes, I can do this or do that next week. It is literally going day by day. And I am totally convinced that that is pretty much the way that God wants it to be. Because, like I said, there's no one else to rely on but Him. It's like waking up every morning and being like, all right, God, so what's going to happen today? Like, give me the answers for today. I can't even think about next week. I can't even think about next the next 2 or 3 days. Like, it's literally a day to day. And I really feel like that is the space that he has put me in for a reason. That is the space that any of us can face. It's like, this is the process that it takes to be into purpose. You leave behind what's familiar, you step away from the unknown. It's like being in this wilderness season in between of what I knew and where I'm going that I have no idea what that is. And it's in the wilderness where strength comes. It's in the wilderness where our identity comes. It's in the wilderness where our faith is increased. It is in the wilderness where our reliance and our dependence is solely into Him. So like I said, I wanted to kind of share why I have not been on the scene and as active as I normally would be. It's not because nothing is going on. It's something going on. It's me like being seated at the feet of Jesus and like just learning what it really takes to be a daughter, what it really takes to be moved into the direction that I'm supposed to be into. Like I say, I know for a fact that physical therapy is not my end goal. I am still learning what the end goal is. Like, I have an idea, but also it's like it could be so much bigger. And I don't want to limit what He has for me. So instead of like being on this fast pace, because I was, like, I'm launching out things and I'm trying to move ahead and get things done, but the motive behind that wasn't right. The motive behind that was, I don't have no money and I need some kind of income. So here I am pushing out this and pushing out that and trying to make something work and something happen. I'm trying to make something shake because bills got to get paid. So I want to say that there are times where we could be doing things that seem right, but does not have the right intent and motive behind it. And God is going to check that too. He's going to check to make sure your heart is in the right place, that you're doing things with the right motive and the right intent. So that's another lesson. Wait for His instructions. If you move ahead of Him, it leads to exhaustion, it leads to burnout, it leads to frustration, and guess what? Whatever your desire was probably still ain't even happening. So this process is about pacing. This process is about learning. This process is being strategic and still waiting, still talking with Him and getting more and more clarity. I think that's about it. I don't really know. If it's not, then I'll just be back with another video. But lessons again. How deep, how strong, how firm is your faith? How dependent are you of God Himself? What are your idols that you need to clear? Clear it yourself before He clears it for you, because He definitely will do that. Knowing that our timeline is not His timeline. He does things at the pace that He wants to, and our frustrations, our anger, our tears does not move Him to work any faster than what His timeline says. So it is going through the process in a cheerful manner, because there is an end to it. I am and we are all going to get to the other side, and it's going to be a point we're going to look back at us and be like, let me tell you, I was tripping, because that's going on now. And also having the right intent and the right motive behind what it is that you are doing. You don't want to do anything out of lack. You want to do anything out of scarcity. You really want to do it because that is what you have been called to do, and God gave you the blueprint and the timeline. Like, He gave you all the instructions to make it work for you. So of course, before ending, I have scriptures that I want to leave with you. I'm going to read them out. Keep them in the back of your mind. Again, if you're on this journey of like being in this transition, you've been told to do something, you feel in your heart that you're supposed to be doing, moving, releasing, whatever that is, do it. Don't wait for the next step. Next steps comes after the first step has been established. And it doesn't matter how long the next step takes. Just know that he has you in that, because like I say, procrastination is disobedience in slow motion, and we don't want to be disobedient. So go ahead, make the move. It's going to be okay. I promise you. I am still standing. I am still here. I have my moments, but who doesn't? You know, me and the Lord has probably talked now more than ever, and that's probably what he wants. Like, yeah, my daughter, come and sit at my feet and talk to me. Tell me your troubles, because I do. But all right, so reading. Hebrew 11:6 says, and it is impossible to please God without faith. Anyone who wants to come to him must believe that God exists and that he rewards those who sincerely seek him. Seek, you'll get answers. James 1:2-4 says, dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. You hear that? Once your endurance is fully developed, that's the stage that we're in, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. And then Romans 8:37 says, no, despite all these things, overwhelming victory is ours through Christ who loved us. Victory is sure to be our end goal. But we got to stay fast, stay unmovable, hang on in the process, and just know that we're going to come out okay. All right. So yeah, that's the video on faith, unveiling the path of faith, not being disobedient. Please move in obedience, build patience, build endurance, and victory is sure to come. You all have a good evening, and talk with you later.